Hello everyone. Today we're going to be figuring out what this next unit is going to be about, and we're going to figure it out by looking at a series of political cartoons and then trying to pick out some common themes in there and hypothesize what it is that we are going to be talking about this unit. Before we begin, just a couple reminders. You should already be with a partner or in a group of three, and you will need either a piece of paper in front of you that you can write your answers and responses down to the questions that you'll be asked, or you could do it on a Google Doc. So if you do not have that stuff ready yet, please pause the video and get that stuff ready. Just a word about the format of how we're going to do this. So there will be a political cartoon on a slide, and then there's going to be a couple questions next to it. What I'd like you to do is for the first 30 seconds, just have it be you looking at the cartoons, thinking about the questions. Like, not even writing anything down, just looking at the cartoons. 30 seconds after that, then I would like you to just, by yourself still, write down your responses to the questions. It doesn't have to be in complete sentences. I don't care about spelling, nothing. I just want you to write down your thoughts. Then after about a minute or so, and once your partner or group has their responses down, I'd like you to turn and talk about the cartoon and see what they came up with and see if anything's different, and feel free to change yours at that time as well. Also, I'm going to be moving pretty quickly through this screencast, so if you need to pause it at any time, you go ahead and pause it and take as much time as you would like on each cartoon, but just know that you're going to need to get through them all. Alright? Here we go. So our first one here, it says to list the things you already recognize in this picture. So what objects do you already know what they are in here? Any symbols that you recognize, any objects that you can figure out? And then the second question is, do you think the cartoonist likes what is happening during this time in history? Why or why not? And just in case you're struggling a little bit, this says Standard Oil right up here. And pay attention to what buildings these are. Our next cartoon here asks, what do you see in the background of this cartoon? So what's going on in the background? What is in Rockefeller's hand? So this guy right here, as you can tell by his collar, that says Rockefeller. So that's this guy right here. So I'm asking, what is in his hand right here? And what can you infer from this cartoon? So remember, infer means to, what can you tell, like based on what you already know and based on what this cartoon, like what is the cartoonist getting at? What can you infer? What can you get from it? Our next one here asks, how does this cartoonist show Vanderbilt's control of the railroads? So obviously this very nicely sideburned man right here, his name is Vanderbilt, and we're trying to figure out, he obviously has something to do with railroads, and we're trying to figure out how he controlled them. So what do you think about this cartoon? Okay, this one here asks, who do you think this picture represents? So is there a type of person? Is this a specific person, or maybe someone who has a certain job? What kind of job might that be? You can think about those types of things as you're answering that question. And then based on the political cartoons you've looked at already, what can you infer about this political cartoon? So remember what the word infer means. Based on the ones you've already looked at, what can you infer about this one? So how does this fit into it? Who is this guy? Alright, the game of Monopoly, the end to many friendships here. What do you think the game Monopoly has to do with this time period? So the game of Monopoly here, it is based on this time period, but I'm asking you to kind of tell me what's the connection there, or what do you think the connection might be? how is this game played, what are you trying to do, what's the goal, yeah. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to ignore this slide here, and we are going to instead go and play a Kahoot. So what I'd like you to do is to head on over to Kahoot. There's a link on my website that you can get to there. So do that and take the Kahoot, and that'll be your ticket out of here today.